Welcome back. It is Saturday's NFL slate of action. I got my two favorite picks for both these games. We've got the Bengals and Steelers. We've got the Bills and Chargers. Let's dive into the picks. But first, we got to recap how we did on Thursday Night Football. A 2-0, a little mini sweep. We will take that. We had Kyron Williams over in rush attempts. He got that done in the fourth quarter. And then we had that Derek Carr, 200-plus passing yards, and Chris Olave, 50-plus receiving yards. Same game parlay. I wish we put like 100 units on that because that cashed super easily. We certainly will take that on an 8-1 run. Quietly building up that bankroll. Let's continue that momentum on Saturday. Only two picks today. I'll talk about a couple of other leans in between those picks. And of course, we'll have some Sunday NFL parlays. We'll have some Monday NFL parlays. And of course, we'll have more best bets videos on the way for Sunday. We got a weirder slate in the NFL. A lot of games dispersed thanks to Christmas on the way. So either way, hopefully you guys are having a happy holidays. Before we dive into that, Sleeper is trying to make your holidays a little bit better. And they are giving out a $500 deposit match right now. Plus, they're giving out a bunch of free squares. So make sure it's only for new users. They'll match your first deposit up to $500 right now. And if you sign up, make sure you use our code COS or the link in the description so you get that deposit match. You also get a bunch of free squares, whether it's for Saturday, I believe Sunday's NFL slate. They have some for Monday. They have some for NBA. Ton of different offers out there. So if you're hesitant to sign up for, the PrizePicks, the sleepers, Underdog fantasies, now's the time because each of them pretty much has a free square for new users. All those details down below. But let's dive into our picks though today. My first one, we're going to go to that Steelers and Bengals game, and I'll talk about a lean after this one. But I really like Najee Harris over 12.5 rushing attempts, minus 125 on BetMGM. Now I would play this to about minus 130, minus 140. I don't mind it at 13.5. Najee, who we'll talk about in a second, did burn us last week, but I'm willing to go back to the well here. And what I think is a really good matchup for the Steelers to run the football. Now, since firing Matt Canada, Steelers, they had that great game against the Bengals, actually, when they went off and had 400 yards of offense. But you've seen Najee, 15, 16, then 12 and 12 rushing attempts these last 2 weeks. So finished on the hook twice. Obviously, the hook is painful. And we took it last week at 13.5. Now, that did include a 15 rush attempt for 99 yards. Very efficient day versus the Cincinnati Bengals. And I think he can have another great day of success on the ground. We all know the Steelers' bread and butter and what they want to do under Mike Tomlin and any offensive coordinator is run the football. Now with Mason Rudolph under center, I really don't think they want to throw it a ton. I mean, Mason Rudolph obviously would have been starting behind Kenny Pickett had he looked, really good in practice, but they've been hesitant to put him out there. And now they kind of have no choice with Mitch Trubisky not looking great either. So like the Steelers, honestly, they want to run the football, and they've been involved in two terrible game scripts. One against the Patriots, a tough defense to run against as is. They were down by 21-3 in that game. And then the other week, last week, first the Colts were down by 17. Now they lost that game by 17. So no reason to run it there. But this week, season on the line at home. I think they get back to running the football. Also, like I said, a good matchup. Bengals just lost DJ Reader, by far their best defensive tackle. And when he's been on the field, he's been really good at stopping the run there. But when he's off the field, they're allowing over 5 yards per carry. I think about 5.5. So I think that we're going to see them run up the middle. And DJ Reader's not a guy on the outside. He's right smack dab right next to your center. And you can run, I think, right up the middle. Now, Jaylen Warren, and I think a lot of people can agree, even if you're a Steelers fan or not a Steelers fan, Jaylen Warren, the backup running back, has looked better than Najee Harris. However, they're reluctant to commit to him, not only on the ground, but giving him the full workload, but also in terms of running through the tackles. You notoriously see Najee Harris, they're kind of bruiser back, come in at the goal line situations. And when they run Jaylen Warren, it's mostly to the outside. Well, that's not where DJ Reader, his vacant spot is. It's right in the middle. I really think Najee gets a lot of attempts, and I think he has a good day on the ground. So if you want to put him for 25, well, probably more 40 or 50 yards. I think he has a chance of hitting his over in rushing yards, which I did consider, but I'd rather just take the attempts. I think he has a lot of attempts. This game's close. Give me his over 12.5 rushing attempts. My other lean for that game, I was looking really close at Chase Brown's over in receiving yards. I like Tanner Hudson's receiving yards, and I also like Pat Freiermuth receiving yards. The only problem is I think Pat probably takes a dip. I think a lot of people are just going to look at that last matchup and say, hey, he had like 96 yards. You should have another big day. It's a good matchup though for him, but I don't expect, 96 yards from Pat Freiermuth. But I'm going to just kind of keep it limited. Only really want this one play in that game. But my second play is going to go to the second game, and I'll talk about a lean first. I really looked at Austin Eckler's over in rush attempts. It was about 9.5. He's had 10 or more in pretty much every single game prior to last week's game where they lost, gave up 63 points to the Raiders. I think that's a pretty solid one. The only problem was it was minus 140, a tad too juice for me. Instead, I'm going to go to the same game parlay, talk about a couple pivots, but I really like this one. It's 3 legs, and let's hope it's as easy as that one we did on Thursday Night Football, because we're talking about Josh Allen, talking about Stephon Diggs, and we're talking about the Buffalo Bills in general. Because what we need Josh Allen to throw for 225, passing yards. Stephon Diggs to hopefully haul in 50 or more of them. And then we also need the Buffalo Bills to win, the Buffalo Bills money line. Now, this is plus 109 on FanDuel. I was really hoping we could get Allen at 200 plus yards, but that made it about minus 130. Don't really want to lay juice on that. So I'll take the 225 and 50. I think that's a good shot. Now, 225 and 50, not including the Bills money line, is about minus 122. I put in the Bills money line there because I really don't see a way they lose this game. Now, I'm not saying they cover because I could honestly see the Chargers keeping this one close. End of the day, they're starting Easton Stick, and this team the Bills obviously they need to win the games. I mean, they're not, locked into the playoffs. They can't afford to really lose. They're going to win this game, in my opinion. And if they don't, and that's the leg that loses, I'll honestly just kind of laugh. But we saw last week, Josh Allen and the Bills destroyed the Cowboys, but it was not via Josh Allen. He talked about he basically got an A on a project for doing nothing because he threw for 94 yards. However, 48 of it did go to Stephon Diggs, but they ran all over the Cowboys. James Cook had a massive week. Now, this week, I think they lean more on the pass. I think the Bills need to get their passing attack on track because they're obviously a team that has Super Bowl aspirations, and they need to get that passing game going. Last week, 94 yards, obviously didn't need to throw it a ton, but this is actually a tough matchup against the Chargers to run the football. A team that has really done a great job at stopping the run. I wouldn't be surprised if a ton of people are on James Cook's overs just off of last week, but I think he's due some heavy regression. I think we see them lean on the pass. We've seen the Chargers. I just don't think they roll over in this matchup. Firing your head coach, losing by 40, being back at home. I think they have a lot of pride. If they have any sense of pride, they show up against the Bills. And I think that leads to Josh Allen having to do a little bit more with his arm. And we've seen Josh Allen, you look at his completions prop, it's set to 22.5. Sure, didn't even get close to it last week, but I think they're setting that pretty high and they're expecting him to throw the ball a lot. In 11 games this season, when he's had 20 or more completions, which keep in mind, that's not even, still he needs 3 more to go over his regular line. He has had 225 plus passing yards in 10 of those 11, 218 in the one game he went under. We know this is a Bills offense that really likes to pass the ball. Obviously, they changed offensive coordinators a few weeks ago. Still a team that will lean on the pass, lean on Josh Allen a little bit more if that ground game is not going. And when we've seen, Josh Allen throwing the ball a ton, obviously his number one guy is probably going to be Stephon Diggs most of the time. Diggs, 50 receiving yards in 10 of 14. Has had a lackluster last month and a half or two, but Diggs, 50 plus receiving yards in 9 of 11 games when Allen has 200 plus completions. If they manage to throw for 225 with Josh Allen and Diggs doesn't get 50 of it, I honestly don't know what happened there, but I think at the end of the day, they're going to flex their muscle here, and we're going to see them lean more on Josh Allen and get that passing game going than leaning on James Cook in this Saturday game. So I'll take this parlay. The Bills money line is the last leg of the parlay. I just don't think they lose. Sure, they beat the Cowboys and Chiefs. Those are obviously much better teams than the Chargers. This is a clear letdown spot for them, but I still do think that they win the game at the end of the day. So 225 passing yards from Josh Allen, 50 receiving yards from Stephon Diggs, Buffalo Bills money line. That's my favorite pick of the day. As a reminder, you can sign up for Sleeper, and you will get a matchup for your first deposit up to $500. Take advantage of that. They have a bunch of free squares, not for only for new users. They have some for the NBA. I think LeBron James is their free square. They also got Russell Wilson, I believe, on Sunday's NFL slate for that Sunday night football game. And I think they have a free square for new users in every single Monday Christmas Day game. So take advantage of that. Let's have a wonderful week. As always, let me know your favorite picks down below. Let's continue this momentum of an 8-1 run. Hopefully, we continue that into a 10-1 and build that into Sunday's slate of some Sunday videos posted probably on Saturday. So when those are live, which is probably live by the time these games technically kick off, I'll link those on the screen as well as we have a new second channel video, A Day in Vegas with me and my dad. Go check it out. The video is linked on the screen. You guys have a wonderful, happy holidays, and we will see you guys back in the other videos that were no days off. So you guys see we're going to change the scenery. We're going to keep pumping out the content for you all. But you have a wonderful Saturday, and I'll see you guys back again in the next one. It's Austin. Let's go 2-0. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.